Hello and welcome to the DCEU show. So it's official. Netflix have backed out in their bids to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery after Warner Brothers finally confirmed that Paramount's final bid was substantially higher than the Netflix bid. Here's one unlikely scenario for you that the Warner Brothers Discovery board go, we don't like Paramount, so we're still going to go with Netflix. I don't know in the history of business where a board of directors, shareholders have said, yeah, we'll go with the lower bid. So Netflix have done. Zaslav has already come out saying no hard feelings, Netflix are a great company, and I look forward to working with Paramount. Now, ex-Twitter has absolutely gone insane, and as usual, people have gone down the political route. Oh, Paramount are an evil far-right company. Oh, Netflix, yeah, that's good, they're gone because they weren't going to honour the theatrical release window. So, what went wrong with the Netflix bid? Number one scenario, do you remember a few weeks ago, I read out an expert, a financial expert on Deadline saying that he believed that Sarandos, being a friend of Zaslav, put in a fake bunch of bids just to suck in the Ellisons and Paramount. I think this is actually true. The other scenario is this. Sarandos and Netflix thinking, shit, it's impossible. We're not going to get through antitrust. Why put in a higher bid? That's also a realistic scenario. But Netflix are done. So eventually, it looks like Paramount will swallow up Warner Brothers Discovery. They will own everything. CNN, the cable conglomerates, HBO, Warner Brothers Pictures. They've won. They're going to have everything. What does this mean for you, a DC fan? Now, if you're expecting wholesale changes, you may be disappointed because right now I don't see wholesale changes happening. A lot of people predicting that Gunn and Safran will be out the door. Lots of funny memes with that going on ex-Twitter. But at the end of the day, I think you're going to have less disappointment if you expect them not to change anything. We may have to wait 2 years until Paramount officially own Warner Brothers Discovery. So Man of Tomorrow, still happening. Supergirl, still happening. Clayface, which I'm actually looking forward to, is still happening as well. So all those projects that have been announced, right, either in production or wrapped principal photography are still happening. Nothing's going to change. Now, as we get to the process of, and Paramount getting closer and closer to actually owning Warner Brothers Discovery, the Ellisons may do what Zaslav did. Before officially owning the company, you could see some decisions happening there. Now, is the Snyderverse going to be restored under Paramount? Now, a lot of Snyder fans actually believed that Netflix were the ones who were going to restore the Snyderverse. I was never sure what Snyder fans felt about Paramount. Now, a lot of Snyder fans actually feel that Paramount will still restore the Snyderverse. And yesterday, Zack Snyder posted another wonderful picture of Henry Cavill in that beautiful Michael Wilkinson designed Superman costume. So Zack is still throwing in the hints. Will it be restored? You know, it's the $1 billion question that nobody knows. Nobody knows at this moment in time what's going to happen. I just don't see wholesale changes at Warner Brothers Discovery under Paramount. One thing you can guarantee that doesn't affect you as DC fans, there will be many redundancies, which of course is part of a merger, of an acquisition. So, yeah. And I mean, Zaslav had an investors call yesterday hailing everything he's done at Warner Brothers Discovery as a success, calling the Gunn and Safran run DC Studios a success. I beg to differ. But that's what he's saying officially. Will Zaslav have a position at Warner Brothers Discovery once Paramount officially own the company? So let's say, because there was a report a few weeks back that Zaslav was going to be kept in place if Paramount's bid was successful to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. If Zaslav remains in place as CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, then definitely nothing's going to fucking change, is it? Gunn and Safran will remain in place. So I warn you, before you make yourselves look stupid on social media posting that Gunn is done, we're going to have to wait and see. Very interestingly, when WBD accepted the Netflix deal, Gunn became really, really cocky, saying he and Safran weren't going anywhere. Let's see what Gunn has to say about this deal. Because Paramount, as we all know, are right wing, and we know that Gunn is very, very far left. But I don't think that Gunn's morality is going to get in the way of his career. He wants this job. He wants to keep this job. And at the end of the day, if Paramount see Gunn as someone who can bring them more profitability, he stays in place. Now, personally, I don't feel that Gunn is someone that can keep money coming into Paramount. I don't think he's a valuable commodity to anyone. I think as a filmmaker, he's solid and done some really good to great things, and that's good. And I've said a million times, let him stay there making DC stuff. But at the end of the day, he should not be running DC. That's my opinion. And if I was leading Paramount, he will be out the door, and so would Safran, as co-CEO of DC Studios. And when Paramount look at Zack Snyder, is he someone who can bring money to them? Yes. He brought money to WB. Man of Steel was a financial success. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice was a financial success. Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut was a financial success. It was a big hit on HBO Max, an even bigger hit on physical media. So Zack Snyder's absolutely someone that Paramount should be looking to restore the Snyderverse. Now, we will see. Did Snyder always know that Paramount were going to be successful? Was he hedging his bets with Paramount and Netflix? Again, we're going to have to wait and see. Listen, I don't have any absolute answers for you here. And let me be absolutely clear. Anyone who's giving you definitive answers doesn't know. In the next few days, weeks and months, there's going to be a lot of clickbait articles. Snyder's going to be back. Snyder's out. Gunn's out. Gunn's staying. You will be getting all these clickbait articles. And here's the thing. Not one of them is going to be accurate. We won't know anything until Paramount and the Ellisons officially own Warner Brothers Discovery. That's the truth of the matter. That's where we are right now. We are in the dark, people. Now, Paramount will already know, of course, what they're going to do with Warner Brothers Discovery. Because Paramount's a marble compared to Netflix. This is why they're going to get through antitrust really easily. Now, someone important in California said, well, it's not done yet, you have to go through us. And obviously California is very left-wing. Listen, whatever they do, whatever they say, Paramount are going to own Warner Brothers Discovery. Unless something illogically insane happens here, right? And Warner Brothers go, actually, we'd rather stay independent, which is very, very unlikely. Has David Zaslav been a success, as CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery? It's very, very interesting. He put in Abby and DeLuca in place. They have been successful. He claims that Gunn and Safran have been successful. The $616 million for Superman is at least solid. Not a flop, not a huge success, right? So he will see that as a success, right? We'll see how Man of Tomorrow does. But yeah, in the next 2 years, I suppose Gunn will remain in place. And I can't see Gunn just quitting. It would be interesting if Gunn just quit now. But I see that really, really unlikely. So in the next 2 years, while this deal is going through all the correct channels, Gunn has to prove to Paramount that he and Safran and DC Studios are a viable commodity. And but basically, he needs Supergirl to be successful. He needs Man of Tomorrow to be successful. Clayface being a cheap movie that only cost around 40 million. If that can make a big profit, that would be hugely advantageous to James Gunn's battle to keep his position as co-CEO of DC Studios. He really has to prove here that he is a viable commodity. So just because I don't want Gunn as co-CEO of DC Studios, I'm not going to tell you he's not going to remain in place. As I say, I'm not expecting wholesale changes with Paramount. I'm really not. At the end of the day, Zaslav can argue, the things I've put in place are doing okay. As I say, the decision to put Adby and DeLuca in place has been hugely successful. I mean, I think he took the advice of other people, but still, it was his decision. Warner Brothers are one of the few studios doing okay right now. There's absolutely no question about that. So, we'll see how it all plays out. But right now, I'm not going to make any crazy predictions because I don't want to end up being on the wrong side of history. Right now, Gunn is still in place. Right now, everything that was happening before Netflix said they weren't going to put in a higher bid for Warner Brothers Discovery is still in place. And the guessing games are happening now. But what you can do as Snyder fans is keep on hashtagging, pushing to get the Snyderverse restored. And you must do this by being positive. This is what you've got to do. You've got to be hugely positive. Instead of being negative, forget Gunn, forget all of that. Just push for Zack. We know his films are quality. We know he's one of the great directors. We know if he was in the 90s and in the 80s, he'll be hailed as one of the great directors. But not in this fucking weird era we live in. Snyder is deemed a bad director. Really? Have you seen his movies? How can you say he's a bad director? But anyway, this is where we are. We live in a fucking parody era where if you say it on the internet, it must be fucking true. But there are your headlines today, yes. Warner Brothers Discovery will be owned by Paramount. And as I say, there's a lot of angry people on the internet. I never had my horse in a race. I said to you, there's no good guys here. I said to you, it means the same to me whether Netflix or Paramount own it. But ultimately, nobody trusted Netflix. I think even the people who wanted Netflix to buy WBD were going to trust Netflix. We don't want streaming world. We don't want streaming world. We want things to be the way it used to be, with great movies. Here's the funny thing. In the 80s and 90s, evil right-wing companies owned entertainment, and we did very well, thank you very much. I'm not right-wing. I'm moderate left. Me and my father, when I was legally allowed on my birthday to vote, me and him used to go to the polls and vote for Labour in the United Kingdom, in the southeast of London, Bromley, Kent. So you know what my politics are. But politics mean very, very little to me. I'm not fanatical about politics like these Hollywood lunatics are. My passion is movies and television, stories and entertainment. That's my passion. But it's very, very interesting. Donald Trump inadvertently showed us how these studios and streamers and networks work. Because basically he made a demand to Sarandos last weekend, saying that one of the senators sitting on the Netflix board should be removed. If you're wondering why entertainment is so bad, because you've got these far left lunatics on the board of studios, streamers and broadcasters demanding that we see this shit stuff that we're getting. That's why entertainment's shit, because the power brokers are sitting on the boards of these companies. And as I've said before, I wish I owned a bulldozer. I would go and bulldoze every piece of modern day entertainment and build it from the ground up again, focusing on art and entertainment and lower priced, cheap, independent entertainment. You know, going to movie school graduates, film school graduates, and graphic design graduates, and everyone, all graduates, and bringing them into the industry like they used to do in the 60s. This is the way forward. Having an industry that isn't illicit and criminal, where people feel safe without being abused and sometimes even murdered. Yeah? We need a nicer industry because right now it's the nasty industry. We need a better future. Now, look, the entertainment industry has always been an illicit criminal industry, but in the past at least, they were entertaining us. So the future, my friends, is really, really uncertain because the reason we're focused on this acquisition is because we're DC fans and we want great DC. And yet again, we're hoping for some change. When AT&T bought WB from Time Warner, we were hoping for a better future. We were hoping for the restoration of the Snyderverse. At least AT&T gave us the Snyder Cut, but they've been a fucking disaster. The shareholders of WBD who will be, blowing a sigh of relief are the AT&T people who came in, bought WB, and made a fucking disaster out of it because basically they were a cable and wireless fucking company. That's why. So I want great DC movies and television, again, like we had with Smallville and Arrowverse. I want to see that again. I want to see great DC animation, and I know that you want to see that as well. We all want to see great entertainment all around the board. And maybe the Ellisons and Paramount can give us that at the very least. I don't care about their politics, right? Are they capable of turning it around? Now listen, Paramount's figures just came through and they're a disaster. But again, the Ellisons have only been at Paramount for a year or something like that. You can't blame them for what's going on. Again, it's not about politics for me. I'm trying to be fair. So could WBD have a great future under Paramount? Yes, and maybe no. Nobody really knows. The problem right now, our world is divided. And that division has crept in to entertainment. And the people running entertainment are even more fanatical politically than the people getting rabid on ex-Twitter right now over Netflix not putting in a higher bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Variety said this was a shocking move. I was pretty confident that Paramount wasn't going away. Paramount wanted this company passionately, and they're going to get it. They've made big moves, the Ellisons, ever since they've came in. And for me, it's not a surprise. I'm not angry about this because I'm not a political guy. I'm an entertainment guy. It seeps through my DNA. I love sitting there rewatching my favourite shows and my favourite movies. That's me. I'm a wholesome entertainment dude. I don't care about your politics. I don't hate you if you're right wing. I don't hate you if you think I'm a toxic white male. I don't hate anyone, right? All I want to do is watch great entertainment, and I want to fight for a better entertainment industry. And that's what I'm here for at the end of the day. As we all know, this is a very small YouTube channel. When I say small, I mean really, really small. People are unsubbing and getting bored of me every day. And maybe watching me rabbit on daily is fucking boring, and I don't care. Because like a relationship between a subscriber and a content creator is like a marriage. And sometimes you get divorced because it's not meant to be. So if you feel this is not for you, that's absolutely fine. For the past 20 minutes, I've tried to inform you accurately about the WBD deal. Honestly, putting my politics to one side and my thoughts and feelings to one side. That's what this channel's always been. Informative, but opinionated at the same time, because no one wants some robot just telling them the information. So that's where we are with that. Are there any DCU updates? Not really. James Gunn came out a few days ago talking about Brainiac, saying that basically his Brainiac is not based on any graphic novel, and he's read quite a few DC comics to get a handle on Brainiac. So Brainiac is coming in Man of Tomorrow. We have got a Superman, Lex Luthor, Hawk Girl, a Guy Gardner, and the rest of them team up. That's what it's going to be. And I'm sure Supergirl is going to be in Man of Tomorrow as well. And it's fine for people to be excited about that. I'm yet to be convinced, but I must admit, I've got a slight good feeling for Clayface. Clayface is the movie I'm kind of intrigued about. No one's really talking about Clayface, but I think that could be the one that Gunn's putting everything into. Because as I say, Gunn is a bit like us. He's a fan. He's not invested in Superman. He's not invested in Batman. He's invested in these small tier characters. And as we know, Gunn always finds a way to make these unknown characters household names. And he's been consistent. He did that with Guardians of the Galaxy. He's done it with Peacemaker. Peacemaker is now a household name. Whether you like the guy or love the guy or want to have the guy's kids, at the end of the day, he's very good at making unknown characters household names. So I am very, very interested in the Clayface movie, and I'll be giving you updates on that here on the DCU show. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Do I have much faith about Supergirl? Not at the moment, but that could change as we get closer to the movie, because I haven't seen Supergirl. But I'm very upset at the first trailer, having a CGI dog urinating on my hero, my beloved Superman. It's not something that's going to make me warm to the fucking movie, is it now? But I've noticed in the kind of TV spots and recent stuff we've seen, they're not showing the urination on the picture of Superman, which is also kind of interesting. Maybe for once they're listening to the fans. But Snyder fans, I will tell you not to give up hope. There's always hope for the restoration of the Snyderverse. I don't think Paramount coming in changes anything. At the end of the day, it's a wait and see scenario. It would be good if WB now could just announce the restoration of the Snyderverse. That would be the best scenario. I believe there's a place, as I keep on saying, for the Snyderverse, for the Arrowverse cinematic universe, for a Green Lantern cinematic universe, and so much more. And for the Gunverse, and for the DC, everything. I believe, as I said yesterday, that DC fans should be able to have everything they want. It shouldn't just be one universe. I don't even believe the DCU is enough. You can't run DC Studios on just the DCU and Matt Reeves' The Batman crime saga. Now, there's a lot of DCU fans losing their shit about this situation. It seems to me that all the fans, whether you're Snyder fans or Gunn fans, kind of feel that Gunn's out with Paramount in place now. I don't know. This is an illogical, crazy industry. Hold your horses, because nothing or everything could change. That's where I'm at with it. You just do not know. That's where we are today. This is where we are. As I keep on saying, we're in the dark. And anyone telling you any different, any content creator, any publication telling you, oh, this is definitely going to happen, and that's definitely going to happen. Listen, there's too many fucking no's. For months now, people have been telling us Netflix are definitely going to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Just because you want something to happen doesn't mean it will. Just because I want a threesome with Jenna Coleman and Lacey Turner, it don't mean it's going to happen. And me saying I'm going to have a threesome with Lacey Turner and Jenna Coleman don't mean it's going to fucking happen at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, we have to have self-control. There's too many fans on the internet who lack self-control. We've got to be logical at all times. What we know right now is that Netflix are out. And more than likely, Paramount are going to own Warner Brothers Discovery officially It may be a year or two, or maybe even 6 months' time. Now, I believe anything's possible in terms of the Snyderverse. I think there's a good chance of it coming back, but we have to keep on hashtagging and fighting, keep the game going, right? That's what you have to do. Be positive. Be positive. Don't bully people. Don't be an arse. Just be a good person who enjoys what they enjoy. Love what you love. And that's it at the end of the day. And maybe the Snyderverse will be restored. But right now, we're in this Twilight Zone scenario where we don't actually know what's happening. And we don't. And I could sit here. Because what the problem is with the internet today, especially with content creators, they're either for or against. So you got Aaron Fisher? He's very pro-Snyderverse, so he's very anti everything else, right? So there's a bias there. It's a great platform, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything negative about him, but he's biased. The problem is with biased people who lack self-control, they're never going to be accurate with the information they give you. Even when they give you accurate information, it comes at a slant in their opinions about how they feel about things. I will never do that. I will always be honest. I will always be honest with you, because honesty is the best policy. And if I'm dishonest with you, you're going to find out I was dishonest with you. And at a later stage, you're going to come after me and go, Mick, you said this. So right now, all I'm saying to you is that everything is on the table. The Snyderverse can absolutely be restored. There's no reason to give up hope. James Gunn may not be fired. That's the reality. I want him and Safran fired as co-CEOs of DC Studios, but that might not happen. Just as I say, just because I want something to happen, just because you want something to happen, it doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. And this is what we've always got to remember about these situations. We're not in control. We are the audience, we are the customers, we should be the most important thing. We are the most important thing, but I don't think we are to these people today, and that's a shame. They don't like us, they hate us, and they keep on shaving against the grain. But anyway, without us, they have nothing. This industry is on its knees, on the verge of ending, on the verge of bankruptcy, and Paramount, at the very least, have to understand that and have to build their studio up from the bottom. They've been very ambitious. They've been purchasing a lot of things, bringing in the best creatives into Paramount, and I believe in the next 5 years, this will pay fruition. And Paramount will be the biggest studio, no question. Paramount are ambitious about not just being the biggest studio, but the biggest broadcaster, with the biggest cable conglomerates. They're ambitious. Now they have kind of, it seems, used their connections with Trump to get WBD. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, they're going to be some all right-wing lunatic, entertainer. Hopefully they can remain balanced, because balance is absolutely what we need today. Because everyone's so divided. I don't know about you, but I find that scenario absolutely depressing. I want a more just and fair, kinder and compassionate society. And I want more entertaining, kinder and compassionate movies. I don't want to watch movies that call me an arsehole just because I'm a man, right? I want to see the end to identity politics, right? I'm not a fascist because I want to see great entertainment. I'm just a boy. I'm still that little boy in here and in here, right? And I still want to see great DC movies. I want to see great movies and TV throughout the board. And you know what? I believe every one of you watching this video, coming in daily, want to see the same thing. Now, I apologise for the sun glaring in my face, but it's Cyprus. It's very, very sunny. It's still very, very cold. But that's your news for today. Warner Brothers Discovery will be owned by Paramount and Blue Sky. What that means, nobody knows right now. We are at the beginning of maybe a very exciting future. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Are you excited about Paramount acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery? Are you really upset? Are you waving your fists? Let me know what you think about all of this It's certainly very, very interesting, isn't it? And we will see how all this plays out. But right now, it's anyone's guess. Restore the Snyderverse. See you tomorrow. See you later.